Well, now it's my turn. Wow. You know some signs around here of land stewardship, and that's an organization in Minnesota that kind of works for farmers and showing people how to live and how to farm and how to all the good things about farming. So that's why we have that here.
I'm all tangled up.
Are you ready yet?
No.
Oh, you're not ready yet. So nobody's heard me. Oh, maybe I don't need that.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Maybe I should just give you my name tag too.
Oh, I could have a good one for a change, huh? Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm getting to feel more important all the time.
There you go.
Am I all set? Okay. Okay, good morning. Good to see you here. And whoops, well, what can be that? Yeah, you see a lot of land stewardship advertising here, and that's the organization in Minnesota that helps us to learn how to be better farmers. And I suppose you have the Practical Farmers of Iowa, which tries to do the same thing. So anyway, my main topic is land transition. My land transition. I'd like to talk a little bit about how important that is, and about our agriculture today, and how we got here, and more importantly, where we're going. Let's see. When did you start hearing about sustainable ag? I don't. Maybe I first heard about it when that great Iowan Aldo Leopold wrote about Sun Country Almanac, and he wrote that in 1949, the year I graduated from high school. I don't know if I read it that year or not, and this is just talking about changing wasteland to good land. It can be done anywhere and any time, and if you're a dictatorship, you can do a lot of it. I know in China, I think they transformed about 14,000 acres from real wasteland into productive farming land. It took them 15 years to do it, but if you're a dictator, I guess you can do it. So let's see what's there. Then a few articles began appearing in farm magazines, and today they're in every farm magazine. Then you had your great man from Decorah, Paul Johnson, helping all along the way. He did so many things. But let's turn to the real problem. In Iowa, two-thirds, I believe, of your farmers are 65 years of age or more. So what does that mean for farms 50 years from now? It seems when an older farmer dies, the land is bought up by neighbors. So farms get bigger and bigger. And what's the result? Well, we see villages and small towns getting smaller or dying, as many have. Well, 50 years from now, have farms and countryside like Tsarist Russia with a few big landowners and a few serfs doing the work? I don't know. And an Iowan wrote a book in 1997 called 1,000 Acres. He thought he really made it. I've got it now. Maybe that 1,000 acres is kind of pittance today. I don't know. But all my life, I've seen farmers wanting to have the biggest. They want the biggest tractors. They want the biggest combines. They want the most acres. I don't think they know the difference between need and greed. My farm was 160 acres, like most of the farms were. They raised seven children. Across the road, my neighbor had only 80 acres and raised 4 children. So the size doesn't mean everything. Let's see. A lot of people, I think, want small acreages these days, and but they for these farms that are sold, why couldn't they be sold in smaller acreages? Maybe give people a chance to buy a small acreage that they want. I don't know. And along my 3 mile road, all the farms have been sold and bought up by those who already own hundreds of acres. So I worry a lot about the future of the land. In other areas of our economy, we see more and more huge mergers, and I believe it is seldom good for the non-rich folks. A couple other things about farming too. 50, we talk about 50 years in the future, what's it going to be like? 50 years in the past, a lot of changes have come. We've had ethanol, we had these big CAFOs, and you got a lot of those in Iowa. You got an awful lot of them because you haven't protected yourself. And I believe the biggest one, I believe, might be in Utah with 76,000 cattle all in one place. This just is not, it's not good. You know, ethanol, CAFOs, they're not good for the land in any way. So, so in Filmer County, we started having an online newspaper, and called the Root River Current. And I believe one of the first called by John Torgrimson. Some of you knew him from Seed Savers. He was an intern person there. And anyway, so that's kind of the things that I worry about, and I worry about a lot. But I don't know how soon these big changes will come, but we'll see. And with this land stewardship, they in one of their, after I transitioned my farm, and they wrote about it in here, farm transition, the making of a successful farm owner. If I read that, I'd probably have a better speech than I've got right now. But anyway, it all started with Benita. Some years ago, she said, "What's your plan for the future of your land?" And I said, I kick the bucket and the land becomes yours." That's no plan. Well, how many people turned down $1.5 million farm? I don't know. He's always been special in my mind, I guess. So we had to start thinking. And I guess we started out with land stewardship. They have a program teaching people how to transition. And we went a few times, but found out this was not what we needed, because they were mostly concentrating on families, how to transition to the children in the family. So we had to start thinking again. That's hard for me. But anyway, was it one afternoon, one evening, we were kayaking with Amy and Aaron Bishop. Some of you know them. And they were talking about, Amy had worked on, she was working for Seed Savers and worked for organic farms all over here in Canada, and always with the idea, I hope I can buy maybe 20 acres. Then I have my own farm and I can do what I want. So we asked them, how about 160 acres? Well, that's not what they were expecting, but it started us all thinking. So we're thinking, can that be done? And we kind of thought, I guess maybe it can be done. So we talked some more, and we got the lawyer in Harvey is a good friend of ours, and we approached him and said, I think I had one class in law school about this. I got to dig it out and see what we can do. So we did. So we worked with him, and we finally got everything worked out. And so everything got turned over to Amy and Aaron. Everything. I don't own the house, but I can stay in it, and I own everything in the house. So that's how the things went, and it took a while. the three, all of us working together. Am I correct so far? Good enough? Okay. I didn't read this before. I was a little nervous, about this. So, okay, so they took over and, okay, it's certainly a work in progress yet, and it will be for a long, long time, but, there'll never be row crops again on the farm. And I think they put 100 acres into the, farm, what's it called? PRP, yeah. And they planted, I think about 27 different seeds there. So they did that last year, they mowed it. And so things are moving. It'll take a long time. You had to buy a tractor. And if you ever come out there, you'll see some interesting things on the laying on the ground. They are old, not old, they're brand new vats from breweries, and they're going to use them for taking care, for holding the grain. Right now, they look like rocket ships to me. But anyway, so you'll see that. And let's see what else. Then 2 sides of my farm were going into the new bike trail. So they worked really hard with that to get it done right. You may be able to ride on that bike trail officially this year. We'll see. It's a bike trail that runs to the Iowa border. But Iowa has a lot of different laws, so I don't know when it will ever connect to a Cresco, but we'll see. I haven't decided whether to have a lemonade stand or some ice cream stand, but that comes better. So, as I say, so they're moving forward, and each year brings something new and different. They're very, very conscientious couple, and I used to live trap some animals that I didn't really like on my place. I just turned them loose down in Iowa. Well, they say, no more of that. No trapping of animals and taking them to Iowa. They belong here. So, and there are a couple of animals I didn't really like very much. Oh, they're good animals. They got a place in nature. You should love them. And I guess I do now. Those raccoons don't look so bad. Those possums don't look bad at all. They were the ugliest creatures I thought on earth. But when you look at them differently, they look pretty good. And they're doing a lot of good, I guess. So. Huh?
What about skunks?
I've smelled them around. I haven't seen any, but that's a good question. I do have a live trap I can turn over from a distance and the skunk can get out again. But fortunately, I haven't had to try it. Let's see what else, but that isn't the end. All these good things, and we've seen some critters around. They've seen meadowlarks. They've seen bobolink. I think they saw a quail. They see a lot of things that weren't seen before. So they got a big sign up. Every critter welcome. They had a couple dogs, and then a cat walked in and said, "I heard this is a good place. Now I got a cat." So, but that's not quite the end. Then they thought, well, we live in town and farm out here. We ought to live out there. So they looked at my corn crib. They're really clever people, and they know how to do everything. So they started turning my corn crib into a house. Who would ever think about a thing like that? I've heard of barns turning into houses, but anyway, so they're still working on that project, but they're able to move in a couple of years ago, I think. So they don't need to come and use my shower, which I like very much. But the good thing about them living right next to me, right on the farm, they are so kind, so very kind. So when Vanita isn't around, and sometimes when she is around, they come up to see that I'm okay before I go to sleep. And that's worth a lot, really a lot. So I think that's probably the best thing in this whole arrangement. But it's a difficult project, and everything has to fit together, and you have to kind of know each other and have a good lawyer that knows, the friend that knows how to work with you. So it's a big project actually, and I've just been so very, very lucky with it. Would you say anything else, Benita? Anything? What have I missed?
All righty. Grab that little microphone on the table, the wand one.
What I would add is that with the Midwestern sense of place and the connection to place, it takes courage to think of someone else being there. It's easy to postpone that thought, thinking I'll get around to it, or somebody else will take care of it. And Harvey was courageous to think of responsibility toward the future. And I really admire that.
So, thank you. So actually, the only thing I own today is a 6-year-old car and the things in my house. And so I thought it doesn't feel bad at all. I thought you had to have stuff. You don't have to have stuff. But it sure took me a long time to come to the conclusion. I was almost 90 years old when Nita said, you better start thinking again. And so I started thinking again. And I'm very, very happy to all the encouragement from Benita and how she's helped all the time. So I'm a lucky person and I'm a happy person and I'm a thankful person. And I'm thankful for being here this morning. Thank you for listening very carefully. Question?
Did you get a Finland?
Pardon me?
Did you go spend time in Finland?
Yeah, I was there 30 years.
Thanks. Tell me how you made that transition to Finland. That has, if you're 30 years there, that has to be
It was made
another whole
without
chapter.
thought of any kind. I don't know the answer to any of that. So I can't tell you.
Okay.
Just ended up there. I've been living there at home. My mother was in bad shape. I had to stay there, I thought, until she passed away. And then a year after she passed away, I thought, well, maybe I can make a change. I thought I'd go there for a year and come back. And I was going there to get married. And don't ask me anymore. I don't know how things happened at all. Things just went on, and she wanted me to. My wife wanted me to sell the farm. She said, "You're never going back there." I didn't want to. I said, after a certain age, if you go to a different, that's my opinion. After a certain age, you go to a certain country, and you settle down there, and you retire there. Everything is, you stay there. But after a certain age, you can't.
Roots.
I think I can't get my roots that I had back here.
Got
So I
it.
came back, and which unfortunately, of course, resulted in divorce. But that's the way things are sometimes. So if anybody else has any questions,
Thank you.
don't ask them.
Yeah, but we can ask Benita.
So legally, how will things change when you do die? Will the house then be converted to this young couple or,
Yeah, they own everything. They own the house.
okay,
Yeah. So I only own that, like I said, a 6-year-old car and everything. in the
Everything in-
house.
right. But otherwise you have free range of your property, of the property that you don't really quite own. But where your farm, where you have lived your whole life,
Yeah.
you can walk around wherever
I
you
can
want
walk
to.
around there. I can
Okay,
I can do just about anything I want, but I don't want to do anything. They're doing such a good job themselves. And I'm not going to interfere with that. So,
In our, Harvey, in our lending activity, that was called a life estate, where you are given, according to the ownership records, you have the right to live there as long as you live. Do you have that written into your documents, or is that an
is it
understanding?
written in there? What?
It's not only written in there, but the conditions that Harvey put on the taking over Dear Harvey.
Another question.
I never turn it off because I don't remember turning it back on again.
So the paperwork is the paperwork and it's legal, and what
Right.
are the conditions under which the new people can be there? If they ever break any of those, then everything reverts back to Harvey or me. So it is legal, and our attorney was conscientious. When he was going to attorney school, he specialized in ag topics. So he was steeped in that. But being an attorney working for both parties of a transition, he was conscientious to not make it a pouncing on vulnerable adult situation. It was got all kinds of backups.
I have heard that some people put some kind of a stipulation in there that the land that they give or, however render to somebody else, that it can only be used for agriculture. And there's, I think, quite a bit of concern that a lot of one-time farmland gets made into a suburb. So is there any kind of conditions on Harvey's land that it stay as a farm?
Yes, and Harvey has made it clear that he's willing for other people to look at the paperwork. Amy and Aaron are in favor of it also, if they want ideas of how to do that.
So just curious about the tax, since they're not your biological relatives, did you have to set up, and you can't, pass them on pass the land on, without tax implications. Did you have to set up a trust to do this, to transfer it so that they're not?
They're buying it.
They're buying it
Paying rent to live there,
Okay,
but they are in the process of buying it with
Okay.
payments regularly.
okay,
I don't know if they say they're buying it, they have bought it, it's all theirs, but they pay me a stipend every year to, like, would be like low rent or something like that.
so, and
I
it's,
love you, Harvey.
yeah, but
She always says
it's
that.
not like they went out and got
I
a
know
million
what I'm
and a half.
talking about.
It's not like they went out and got $1.5 million loan to buy it, but you have an arrangement with them that it's X amount of dollars a year? Oh, well. Because that's a unique situation.
I think you're assuming that you didn't sell it at full market price. I think the tax implication question is using the hypothetical, if it was worth $1.5 million, but you sold it for only 100,000, is there a tax implication on the 1.4 million? Yeah, I don't,
They figured it out.
I-
It is a lower. It's a lower value, it's a lower total value when you figure out how many years going out. But the payments are just like buying property payments and taking taxes for that. Then, so it's legal talk, but it's on the up and up. And for that first 5 years of clawback, Amy and Aaron on the paper are responsible for any cost of that. So they figure they can, on the first 5 years, they can take care of that clawback business for care centers.
And, this is a land stewardship magazine, and maybe you read more about it better in here. It says the making of a successful farm owner. Well, I don't know how successful, but I think it was. So,
They can look that up on the internet if they want.
so on the internet for land stewardship letter,
volume 39,
I'm 39.
number 1, 2021.
Okay.
Can you just hold that up hold the front of that magazine up? There you go. Perfect.
For Norwegians, nothing is pretty, but it's pretty good. Yeah. Well,
Any other thoughts or questions? Harvey, thank you very much.
who has more questions?
I do. Well, it seems like there are a lot of people looking for small farms, people like your new tenants.
Yes.
So is this something that is replicating with the land stewardship project? A chance for other people like Harvey to transfer land to other people like your friends?
Well, in the magazine, every time there are people looking for land and people with land for sale, so they're trying to get them together. I don't know how successful they are. But I think the big thing about this transfer that they've got a farm, it's a 160-acre farm with no debt, and that's important. Debt can kill you. Yeah. No, nobody
The
could.
part was Harvey insisted that there be no interest.
Okay.
And that was the tricky part of how you dig through your law lessons.
Right.
To find out how to do that legally, and they did.
I'm a story in our paper today. It said land transition with Harvey Benson. I'm sorry, I should have put Benita Underbucky there too, but she's so shy. She wouldn't allow us. In fact, nobody has read this or listened to this until this moment. But at least I can sleep tonight. Thank you very, very much.
All right, Harvey, I have a question.
I have 3 answers.
All right, that's great. So as our farmers are becoming older and we're looking at large farmsteads, is there a movement or a consideration about breaking up the size? I don't know anything about ag, but say if somebody were to have, say 160 acres and somebody wanted to only buy 20, is that possible?
Usually, I think, if some of you, I think when a farm is sold, it's usually the farmstead, the buildings, and then the acreage. That's the way it's usually sold. They think they can get more money that way. They certainly could, and I would suggest they could, like 2 big farms were sold recently, and they could have been sold in 20-acre parcels, but I've never heard of them doing that. And by the way, my neighbor and his father before them have been renting my land for 50 years or more.
Mhm.
And when I was going to do that, he said, "No, you can't. That's my land. I got to buy it." I said, "No, you don't have to buy it. You're not going to buy it." He hasn't talked to me since. And we've been neighbors and friends for all my life. I really felt badly about that, but that's the way it went. So, well, thank you for listening to this morning. Good. What should we do now? What do you think? What's the next project? Probably go to the co-op and buy something good or what?
I'm going to help you to your chair.
Oh, I got this now.
Well, our closing song is This Land.
Take it away from me. There's nothing in there.
Where's your wallet?
I believe that congregation.
Yeah, don't get that. You know that.
Thank you.
So This Land Is Your Land is a great standard song. I thought it was interesting. I was reading it and I didn't know that there's even a Canadian version that goes, this land is your land. This land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. So this land was made for you and me. So that's kind of cool, but there's a Canadian version too.
Maybe we
But I
should learn it, just in
maybe we
case.
should. Well, so, I think most of you know the chorus. Why don't you stand as you're willing and able? You stay right where you are, Harvey. And we'll sing the chorus, and I'll sing the verses in between the choruses. And if you know those verses, please sing along with those too. But since we don't have it printed, that might be tricky for some of you. So This land is your land. Where do we want to start? Where do you think? Not too high.
Yeah, not too high.
Maybe a little higher than this. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. That's still a little low. Let's raise it a little. And as I was walking that river of highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Let's see, another verse. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is my land, this land is your land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there. On the sign it said, no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Once again, this land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
You're using the
Oh,
quicker info.
that's our standard. We love it.
Quicker
And
info.
there's a supplement, there's a new one now, Rise Up
We
Again.
got, well,
Yeah, yeah.
All
All right.
Great. Thank you, thank you.
What do you got? What do you got for you?
Yeah, we usually do,
Thank you. While we're still standing, let's read the Extinguishing the Flame together. May the light we now extinguish inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. Thank you all so much, Harvey,
Thank you.
Harvey and Bonita. Thank you both so much.
Get along pretty good together when we're speaking. Think you want to do it again someday? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can do that, yes.
We should do a dog and pony show, following Bonita at the senior center. There's a lot of people that come to there. You know, they get big crowds and a lot of people would love. Thank God. I put it on the calendar.
I gotta think about this.
Fine, you got it down. Don't lose those notes.
I just brought it.